Welcome to another episode of 103 TV, and today we're going to be talking to Five Rivers Foster Care. I'm going to be chatting to Sarah very soon, and we'll catch up with Andy a little bit later on. But Sarah, tell us all about Five Rivers Foster Care.
Well, Five Rivers has been in existence since 1989. The founder actually started off in kind of residential care, but we've moved since into foster care. We're a social enterprise, so that means that we filter all our kind of surplus back into developing the business, and that's things like, you know, clinical support, training, you know, we do activities, we do support groups, you know, we've got residentials, we've got some educational homes, but I think, you know, the main point of this today is really to highlight the need for more foster carers and to try and kind of dispel any myths about who can and who can't be a foster carer, because, you know, believe you me, it takes all kinds of people to do this role.
I've sort of met Andy, or we'll be catching up with later. He's a single guy, isn't he?
He is a single guy, and I think, you know, there's probably other single men out there who would probably never even entertain the idea. But, you know, like I said before, it doesn't take one particular type of person. You know, it's not necessarily a married couple who have had children. It could be somebody that's never had any children. You know, it could be a same-sex couple who have got children or don't have any children. You know, it could be somebody who lives in a rented property or has their own property. I mean, the point is, it's really got to be somebody who has got obviously a spare bedroom. You know, they're committed, they're nurturing, you know, they're willing to learn, and they want to help support children to have a different outcome in their lives.
Yeah, they want to make a difference to a child's life, don't they?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, we've got such a national shortage of foster carers, and actually, you know, there's more carers leaving than going, you know, towards wanting to become foster carers. And I think, you know, for Five Rivers, I've been working here for like over 13 years now, so I've seen the development of the company. You know, I know the kind of team we are, the level of support, and we're really keen to build up the Nottinghamshire, Mansfield and surrounding areas and get more foster carers, because we get so many referrals for children each week, and we cannot place these children because we just don't have the capacity.
Oh, I was speaking to Andy earlier on, and he was saying it's more like a family, Five Rivers, isn't it, itself?
It is. We're a great team, you know, we've got fantastic workers. We do our absolute best. You know, supporting and kind of recognising what foster carers do is really important to us, and we'll just all muck in together and support when we need to, and try and make things work for carers and obviously children who, you know, are our sort of primary concern.
So you want more foster carers, but they've just got to be the right people, haven't they? People that care and
yeah, and
nurture.
I think absolutely, and I think, you know, some people think, oh well, you know, I don't want a child for my, you know, entire life. Well, you could come in and do short breaks. That could be like a weekends. It could be, you know, the odd week in the summer or other times, you know, to sort of support other foster carers. It could be a short term, which could be anything from, you know, one night to up to a year or two, or it could be like Andy, our foster carer, you know, that's here with me today, who's had a young boy since he was 11 and he's still got him at 19, and he's also got another young man with him as well. But so there's all sorts of ways you can foster. So, you know, I really hope that people give it some consideration and thought.
Well, I'm sure they will. If families are interested, I know you've got a website which is 5-rivers.org. Anybody that could check out that website and obviously look at exactly what they need and what, you know, what you need from them, etc. Also, there's a phone number which is 0330 818 5257. So anybody interested, we'll have those details, you know, on the bottom of the page, sort of thing, on the bottom of the actual video. So we will be passing that information out for you. So anybody out there interested, obviously, I'm sure they'll get in touch.
Absolutely.
But we'll be catching up with Andy and getting his sort of personal story, really, how he became a foster carer all those years ago.
Yeah, and he's an amazing foster carer. So, you know, he'll give you the truth as it really is, and, you know, the rewards that he's gained from doing this. So,
but for now, Sarah, thank you so much indeed.
Thank you very much.
So here he is. Sarah was talking about him. We've now got him with us. It's Andy, a foster carer of, I think, 9 years.
9
or
years,
so
yes,
now.
that's right.
Thanks for joining us. We were chatting earlier on, and you told me a wonderful story how you got involved in foster caring. Would you sort of relay that to us now?
Yeah, it's a long process before I actually got to fostering, and it was about something that I thought about, and it was first brought home to me on holiday. We were on holiday in Turkey. We got friendly with a family from the UK who were a foster family. They had a boy with them I think he was in his early teens, probably 13, 14. He struggled socially. He didn't speak very well to people. He used to sit in the corner quietly, not having much to say to anyone. But by the end of the holiday, we became such good friends, and we were chatting, and we were playing pool and swimming in the pool and doing all the things you do when you're on holiday. And on his last day, I think he left the day before us, and he says he cried and said, he says, I can't believe I'm not going to see somebody like you again in my life. He says, you've been very important to me these last couple of days. And it was quite an emotional thing. And so it was the first sort of experience I had of fostering. But I mean, it was a few years later before I actually did sort of look into it a little bit more. Where I worked at Chesterfield Borough Council, Five Rivers Fostering had an office there, and I used to fix their radiators, change the light bulbs, that kind of thing. Just got chatting, and before I know it, I was asking the questions about fostering, and then honestly, within months, I was a foster carer. I couldn't believe how quick it was. I never thought for 1 minute I would be the right kind of person to foster. You know, I just thought they'd want a certain criteria of person, and I would never have fit that. So in my heart, you know, I wanted to be a foster carer.
I think everybody watching today would think quite the opposite, that you're exactly the type of person
Well, thank you.
that they are looking for. Clearly, you know, you made an amazing connection on holiday in Turkey that time.
Yes.
Been making connections ever since and making a difference. Yeah?
Yes, making a difference. I'm just naturally quite positive and smiley. Sometimes it can be annoying. I know my children, they can often say to me, I says, your positivity is not helping right now if they're struggling. So I also know when to back off, pick my battles with them. But you do find that constantly being positive and giving them the nurture that they need, even though they don't always think they want it, it can take years before they realise what it meant to them and how important it was. Yeah. I've had a boy since he was 11 years old. He's now 19. He's still with me on a stay and put scheme we've got going on at the moment. He's just started a job. It's his first job, which is quite like, makes you feel like, I've done it. You know, I've got him through the system. Now he's working. And then I got a notification on my phone that he'd changed his status to me being his father, which was quite something. And it was his birthday the next day. I'd already bought him a card, but I actually thought, no, I'm going to rush out. I'm going to make the most of this. So I went and bought him a new card with son on it. Happy birthday, son. And that's the first time I've been able to do that. So, yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. And that says it all, really, Andy, doesn't it? Because you've made such a difference, obviously, to that boy's life, that man's life now.
Yeah, he's a young man. It's quite an emotional thing. And the rewards are tenfold. You know, we get out, we do fun things. I mean, you know, it is sort of a career to be a foster carer. I mean, but it's so fun and it's quite emotional. It has its ups and downs, but you know, I learned not to worry about the little things. Pick my battles.
That's the way to do it. Do you know what? I'm sure you've made a fantastic impression on people. So if you want to do what Andy's doing and done so well, if you want to be a foster carer, then Five Rivers Foster Care is obviously a wonderful choice for you. So check out their website, 5-rivers.org, or you could call them on 0330 818 5257. It's been an absolute pleasure, Andy, to meet you and spend a bit of time with you.
Thank you.
So, you know, just continue to do the great work that you're doing.
Thank you. I will.
Good, good, good. So obviously a wonderful, I think, episode of 103 TV. If you want to see more of what we've done in the past, check out 103 TV on Facebook or on YouTube, and we'll see you again soon.